The beating drum of Abike, part 3. The villagers were happy when they noticed that Abike has stopped beating the drum. They called for a meeting. They all agreed that whoever killed Abike must come forward and beg for her forgiveness, else the village will face destruction. Tola overheard the meeting and saw it as an opportunity. She whispered to Ayo, "This is our last chance to find who killed our sister." That night, they went back to the river. Tola mimicked Abike's voice while Ayo beat the drum. This time, her voice carried a message. "Tomorrow, I want the person who killed me to come to the spot where I died. Kneel and beg for my forgiveness. If not, before sunrise, I will wipe out your entire family." The villagers were now relieved. At least, Abike seemed to be giving a way out. They waited anxiously for the next day to see if the killer would show up. That night, Tola and Ayo hid in a shadow, watching the river bank carefully. They were expecting to see the killers of Abike to come forward. Instead, what they saw left them froze in shock. It was the king. The king, dressed in his royal robes, walked in the spot where Abike was killed. His head was bowed, and his shadow slumped as if a heavy burden weighed on him. He knelt by the river bank and began to speak, his voice trembling. "Abike, forgive me," he began. "I did not want to do this to you. I never knew this would happen. You found out about the secret I have been hiding for years. I have no choice than to kill you. I was scared you would expose me and ruin everything for me." Tola and Ayo were shocked, their hearts pounding. The king, the man who was supposed to protect his people, had killed their sister. But they questioned themselves. What secret had Abike uncovered? And what will happen now that the truth was out? To be continued. Please like and share for more. Thank you. The beating drum of Abike, part 4. Tayo and Tola continued to hurt the villagers. They hoped to frighten the king into revealing the truth. But the king too noticed something unusual. Abike's spirit did not haunt him in his dream, nor in his thoughts. The only sign of her hunger was the beating drum, which seems to be getting closer and louder. He started suspecting that the drum might not be Abike. One night, he made a plan. He placed guards at the river bank to watch and see if any human would come there. That same night, Tola and Ayo prepared to carry out their usual ritual. But as they sat on their mat, waiting for the right time, an overwhelming wave of sleep hit them. They tried to stay awake. It was as if it's an unseen force that pulled them into a deep slumber. While they slept, the drum began to beat on its own. This time, it was louder and more furious than ever before. The guards stationed at the river froze in shock. They saw no one, but they heard the sound of the drum. The drum beat seems to move, traveling from the river towards the king's palace. The king in his chamber was terrified. The walls of his palace began to vibrate with the sound. For the first time, Abike's spirit appeared before him. She was no longer the beautiful young woman she had been in her life. Her eyes was burning with anger. "You chained my spirit, but now I am free," she said. "You thought you could bury the truth, right? But no, the truth have risen. Confess, or I will bring destruction to your palace and your kingdom." The king's heart raced. He knew this was no longer a prank. Abike's spirit has risen, and she wouldn't stop until he revealed the truth. What are they hiding?